What's up guys, welcome back to another episode here on our Rainy Day Skyblock series. And in today's episode we're finally going to be starting this tree farm out. Right now it's not looking the best. And it's not really doing us any good. Because these leaves, they're overlapping, so we're getting less drops, which means we're getting less saplings. Which is not what we want. So in this episode we're going to be changing that. Now in order to do that, we're going to be going with a design that's very familiar, which we used last season with the water flow to collect all our things. Now, in between episodes, we did make a second layer of our sugarcane farm. So we also got ourselves these crop trunk collectors, which collects our sugarcane, and we have a special, which is going to be very important to us in a few more episodes down the line. And we've also upgraded the size of our island. So I'm pretty sure we are a 50 by 50 size now, which is pretty good. We're making good progress to say we're not even that far into this current series. But yeah, it's only going to get more uphill from here. So these next few episodes are going to lead to an ultimate goal of getting ourselves a custom enchant table, which allows us to get custom enchants, such as a Slayer, which will be really good for our mobs. But in order to do that, we need to get ourselves some spruce studies. And we are currently at oak. So we get birch, then acacia, and then we get spruce. Once we get to spruce, we need to get it to advanced, I'm pretty sure. And then we get the custom enchant table. But in order to use that, we're going to need another ingredient, which is enchant and lapis, which we get through our studies in our lapis. We are currently on iron. Now, if you guys want to see an episode on us going through cobblestone generators, then comment down below, and I'll definitely get round to making one. Maybe we just display a few and see which is the most efficient. I'm not quite sure yet. Also guys, make sure you stay to the end, because at the end of the episode we're going to be adding the first transformation to our island. And I feel like the way we're going to do it, every few episodes we're going to just add a different section to our island, and then over time, near the end of the season, it's going to be fully transformed and it's going to look awesome. But if you guys want to come and check out our island progress, then the IP will be in the description down below for you guys to come and check out the server for yourselves. All you got to do is /isvisit Brandon8b_, and you'll be brought to my island and you can check out my progress. Well, firstly, we're going to need ourselves a lot of water. So we got 2 buckets of water in here. That'll do us fine. We're going to need ourselves a lot of blocks. Now, stone is currently my best solution. So we're going to turn this stone into stone bricks. And now it's time to make ourselves down to the bottom of our area. I feel like trees are going to be more better on the bottom. We're going to keep our main crops up top, but later down the line we're probably going to add a cactus farm, so we don't want to make it in this area, more or less, because we're just going to make one chunk where our cactus farm is high. We'll probably make it over there, but we have to actually get enough sky dust to upgrade the island that far. So for now, let me turn on my multiplayers. Okay, so we can go all the way down to -64, which is a lot further than I actually expected. So let's turn off our multiplayers, because we're going to actually make ourselves a platform, let's say about here. Don't want to make it too far to the bottom, we don't always want to be dropping. So this will be the collection where we put our chests for when everything filters down. We're going with the same design from last season. Quickly get ourselves to the center, which it will be... So that is our center right there. Right, so this is our border. So we're going to start from this side, and we're going to make a little staircase going like that over to that border over there. Now the reason we're starting on our bottom layer is because this is where we're going to put our chests. If we start from our top layer, we might end up having to go lower than this, which we want to try to avoid. So let's go... Trying to think, how high can we go? Let's say 5 blocks. Right, so we're going to go 5 up. Those 2 are going to be our hoppers. This also... They're 2 not going to be hoppers. Those 2 are going to be our hoppers. This is the line the water will go. Alright, so we want our hoppers right there. Which means our water, I think water can travel 7. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we come up. Now before we carry on building this, we're actually going to test if I'm correct. Because we don't want to get to the end and find out this thing is wrong. So we want it to Right, so that's perfect. Obviously, it's going to go 8 because it's not having to drop down. But the next ones should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And up. Alright, we're now placing the water on our second layer and see if it drops down. Perfect. So now we need to copy that as far as we can go out to the right and then to the left also. And once we've done the water system for this bottom part, we'll come back and show you what's the next step. So now we have to start working on the water flow to push everything down into this stream, which will then connect to the hoppers. So this last one, we want to make sure it's 8, so then the water comes to a stop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring that up. Now this one should be 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bring that up again. We should just be able to keep doing this. That should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, great. Okay, so we need to do this as far as we can to the border. And then by doing this, we should be able to have ourselves a water system to collect all the saplings. Now, the border's actually not that far away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This last one's going to have to stop there. Okay, so now we've done those 2 edges. We're going to do the same at the back, but we're going to wait until we actually get there. So we made ourselves a bunch of slabs. Now, it would help if we had fast place turned on. Now we should just be able... No. Seriously? Okay, so we actually got to place a top slab first. Which, I find that kind of stupid. So let's just go and place top slabs going across everywhere we want it. Right, let's try this again. There we go. Right, let's make sure we do every single one. Already out of slabs in my hotbar. Okay, see, we're burning through a lot of slabs. So imagine if we was actually still using blocks. We would have nowhere near enough blocks to fill this full thing in. Now, if you're wondering why I left this front one, it's because if we put a slab there, we're going to be able to see the water through the little crack. And we want to try to avoid that. So we're going to be placing full blocks there to make sure that doesn't happen. So I didn't forget about it. So now that's filled in, we should be able to grab our buckets of water from these corners. Placing them up here, it should create an infinite source. Or not. That's cool, game. Yeah, you just make my life harder. Great. Actually, I have an idea. So if I do slash multiplace 32, if I just place blocks all across here and just block it in. Right, let's just get rid of this infinite source quickly. Where breaking blocks is going to be a lot easier than placing a water source one by one. If we do that, yeah, there we go. It creates the infinite source. And then if we just copy this all the way across. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's just make sure we get our 2 buckets back. Should. There we go. Now what I'm hoping for is for this not to go off the edge. So we actually didn't test this one. So there's a possibility we did not count it correctly. And it lines up. It does. Alright, so let's place you back in. Let's place you back in there. That then goes down to the middle. Now we've got a block here, so if it comes flying, it'll hit this block and drop down. So it'll go flying off the edge, so it'll always go down. And if we have problems catching it, we'll just raise this by 1. So there should be no issue there. Now what we want to do is mark the areas in which we want to build our platforms, which the trees will then get placed on. So we've got to consider 2 things. Do we want to prioritize wood, or do we want to prioritize the drops from the leaves? Obviously, if we want to prioritize the drops from the leaves, we need a 3-block gap, so all the leaves spawn, and we're not missing any leaves that will overlap, and we'll get every single drop. Or we can just do 2x2s as we normally do, and hope for the best. Maybe we do 3 at the edge, because we don't want it falling off onto the sides. Then we do 2, 2. Now we just need to make sure this lines up well. So let's go to the other side and do this. 1, 2, 3. And it kind of doesn't. Honestly, having a space in the middle is not too bad. So let's build this 3 up. That should be good enough for all the drops to fall and for us to extend it 1 layer back. Bottom slab. So on this one, we want everything to be a bottom slab. That is important. So if you're copying this design, make sure it's a bottom slab, because then you'll be able to get under all the trees without problems. And having fast place is definitely something really recommended for this, because it is a long process. So if you do /buy, head over to perks. Fast place is somewhere. Multiplace, 2,700 cloud coins. And we can actually just buy ourselves a huge island. I did not know you could do that. Alright, so from there, we want to, obviously with these blocks, these are our representations. So we're going to bring it across, going on every single one. Alright, so now that that's done, we've now grabbed ourselves some moss. So we can place all our saplings on going across. But we're going to have to dig out a pattern in order to do this. Yay, shout out to the NeoCubist, the owner of the server. We're going to make it 3 from the edge like we did before. We're going to just mark this out quickly. We are using a hoe. For a second I actually thought that was a pickaxe. So that's 3. And then we want to do every 2. So 2 there. Hopefully if we do this correctly. We're saying that on the other end where the collection system is, we can actually just break it off wherever we want. So it would be there, but it's going to overhang. So we're going to get rid of these last ones. And we're going to use these last ones as our little bridge. So now we just need to go through and delete all of these holes in the line going on every single platform, so we can place in the moss, and then we should be able to start on the trees themselves. Okay, so we've just finished breaking all the holes in these paths, so now we can start filling in each one with moss. Now the idea is when the tree grows, the minimum it can grow is, I believe, 1 tall before the leaves start getting placed in. So that gives us a 1.5 block space to move around, which is why doing a bottom slab is good, because you can actually crouch underneath that. And it looks like we didn't chop that one out fully. I mean, we started it. So we're going to finish filling this in, and then we're going to have to spend ourselves some money to get some saplings, because we have nowhere near enough saplings to fill this platform. And I don't know how many saplings it's going to take. And all the moss is placed. Something we do need to do is get our little bridge going on this side. So just do like multiplace 2. So it's all placed in 2 slabs. It'll speed up us placing all this by half if we don't fall. And if we don't place it wrong and fall, that was just bad timing that. There we go. So right, turn off that, and then we need to buy... What am I spelling? Oh my god. So if we go into... Is it farming? No, it'll be wood, won't it? Wood cutting. Oh, so it's not that expensive. 1, 2, 3. Let's just say, like... Yeah, that should be about the right amount. More or less. We almost made a big mistake then. So before actually placing any saplings down, we need to make sure we don't get any big mama trees. Now what that means is, on Minecraft there's a variation of trees. So once it hits its first tick, the second tick will then randomly generate whether it grows or if it doesn't grow. And if it does grow, it'll generate a different sequence which will decide what tree is growing. Whether it's 4 blocks tall, 5 blocks, 6 blocks, or a big tree in which you have little branches coming off, which is going to make our life more of a struggle. So we're here to prevent that from happening. So we're going to need ourselves even more slabs. This is where our sapling is going to go on this piece of moss here. So I believe we're going to cut it off when it gets to 7 tall. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe we placed a slab on 7. Now I'm going to have to go double check that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I actually couldn't find out where it was, but I'm pretty sure we are correct by saying 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then the slab. We place 7 blocks and the slab on the 8th. And that should also work with the birch trees, most likely, hopefully. So now you gotta make a lot of oak slab platforms. Now you don't have to use oak slabs, you can use any type of slab or block. But what we're gonna do is make sure that it is 8 blocks directly above each piece of moss. Now this will prevent it from growing any higher than what we're manipulating it to grow to. And hopefully it works like that. Now you need to make sure it's directly above, otherwise it will not work and it will just grow around the block. Okay guys, so we finally just layered the roof above the trees. It took a bit longer than expected because we misplaced half of them, which was quite annoying. But now this is done, we have majority of trees grown. So far we've not reached any big ones. So we did it on the 8th block above, directly above the sapling. If you do it 1 to the side or in 1 to any direction, it's gonna still grow big ones. So you need to make sure it's directly above the sapling. You also need to make sure you've got light sources in order for your trees to grow. And I think that's all the main things. Now if you don't want to lose out on any drops by your leaves, instead of spacing these 2 apart, space them 3 blocks apart. And you'll be able to collect every single drop by doing that. Obviously we're still going to catch some on these little walkways that we have. That's fine because the majority of the leaves are overhanging the edges, so we're not going to lose much. But we did get ourselves an efficiency 5 axe, which is going to make this process a lot quicker. We should just be able to crouch walk. Yeah, so if we just also carry a hoe on us, because we're going to come into places where there is a bunch of leaves. If we manage to just crouch walk, you can actually collect all of it without having to stop. Now all these trees are actually quite short, so I can't really show it properly. But just like that last one, we just crouch walk the full time. Alright, so we've harvested 3. Now the only thing we need to do is go back every harvest and place down the saplings. But we're going to harvest this 4th row, and we're just going to make this the last one for this recording. We're going to go and check the chest to show that the collection system is working fine. And then we'll have built ourselves the most efficient tree farm you can have. Well, second most. We have made it efficient based on the wood quantity, not the leaf drops. So for our need, it is efficient. But you can see like here, there is still some getting caught on the edges. Thankfully in my case, it's just a lot of sticks. But just like that, that would have gone through, but somehow I picked up. If we just come down here. So we've put some chests, we've just put hoppers like this. So they should never go to the top one, they should fill up the bottom chest and then start filling up upwards. So these bottom 2 should have stuff in. We actually have a special log. So it's been filling the left side up first. Now, whatever side it goes to is random. It just goes to what hopper it lands in. So I'm assuming we harvested this side. That's why it's all piling up on this side of the chests. So 10 saplings in here. We collect 10 saplings just by walking through. 20 saplings, and obviously everything's not dropped yet. We've just quickly checked straight after harvesting. but by the time we get to the end of this full harvest, most of this would have deteriorated, and the drops would be waiting in the chest for us to collect and replant. So if you guys want to build this yourself, feel free to. It is efficient, and if you're doing it for the leaf drops, then make sure you space your trees 3 blocks apart. But to finish the episode off, we are actually gonna upgrade the look style of our island. So we do have a schematic which we will be using. I made this in a private world first, just to bring here to make sure all the measurements are aligned. And we're not going to show you guys that. You have to wait until the end of the episode to see the final product of what we've built. So let's get right into it. And we're just adding the final touches right now. And that's it for our island. So we added the centerpiece of the full island, which we actually did put it in the center. So as you can see, obviously it's even numbers, but we managed to make it work. So we're going to expand our island in future episodes coming off this. And for now, I think our centerpiece looks great. But we're going to end the episode here, guys. So if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe with bell notifications turned on, and I'll see you in the next one.